I play a Brigadier General Hummel, who over the past 20 years or so has led various covert operations around the world and has lost a bunch of 83 men in various operations. And because of the illegality of these operations, these men were not honored in any way. They were not given military burials. Their families were not given any kind of compensation, which is normally due them. Sean Connery is the only man who's ever escaped from Alcatraz, who knows how to get back in through the tunnels, and Nicolas Cage is a chemical weapons expert who knows how to disarm these things. So they're part of the force that comes back onto the island to try to get us out of there. He really feels he has nothing to live for other than to try to bring honor to these brothers of his that have been very close to him, men that he led into battle and who he feels very responsible for their deaths. I think they're both men who are, you know, they understand warfare and they understand what it means to be in battle and fighting for something they believe in.
Once we lay out the sequence and we go over the boards with the production designer and we look at his layout, we'll try to figure out where we need our wild walls and how we can cover the sequences, where we're going to have effects, how they're going to play, and where we'll get the most impact, the most production value out of each shot. When people walk out of this film, we want to feel like we offered them something. We want them to leave the theater and say, wow, what a film, you know, and we want them to feel entertained. We tried to figure out a way to blow the cable car. I mean, I worked with an artist in special effects. We tried to figure out a way we could blow this cable car without blowing all the windows out of every house in San Francisco. They hate when that happens. And we ended up blowing the cable car with nitrogen canisters inside the cable car. The underground chase takes place in here. A lot of the wild walls come out of the big cavern. The caverns get restructured so they have a different look, so we gain different production value out of the sets, so we can use them many times in different ways. I mean, then we have this incredible big, giant mass set where we have our wide shots with a big 40-foot ceiling and a 30-foot deep pit. So it appears to be 70 feet tall. It's pretty incredible.
The things I like about the story is it deals with heroism and valor and bravery, and it deals with two guys that have been betrayed by the United States. We have a really interesting bad guy who's very complex. He's not your standard action movie bad guy. He's really noble, and he's doing it for a good cause. He never intends to hurt anybody, but its plan kind of fails. There's a lot of heart in the movie, and there's a lot of action, and you know, it's pretty nail-biting, hair-raising, gets pretty tense towards the end. Harry was there every day, and it was always what is real, and what can we get away with? I mean, because there's always a mixture of real sometimes doesn't work for movies. You gotta, but I really stress real.
The problem is, nobody really knows that island, because that island's been rebuilt a number of times. It used to be a Civil War fort. There's tunnels. It's really a maze. And the architectural plans, unfortunately, aren't up to date. So they get the last man ever to escape from Alcatraz, which happens to be Sean Connery, and to lead them in. He hasn't been ever out in the field. And it's a whole different game when you get out in the field. So he's a rookie, and he's getting thrown into a horrendous situation. It's one of the deadliest gases we have. It was developed quite a while ago. We have enormous stockpiles of it, as do unfortunately other countries in the world, and it's enormously deadly. I think you pretty much disintegrate. I mean, it pretty much destroys your lungs and your stomach and your skin, and it's pretty horrific death. Well, Harry Humphreys, who's a Navy SEAL, or was a Navy SEAL, was our technical advisor. And he basically worked with all the actors in choreographing their action, showing them how to work the weaponry, to make everything that's as authentic as possible. Everything in the movie, from the way they communicate to one another, the way they use their hand signals, the kind of instruments that they bring with us, it's all comes right out of their normal operations.